Hello, my name is Michael Hickey, and today I'd like to talk a little about farm to fashion, small batch manufacturing, what that is, and how it, as a strategy, has the potential to add significant revenue to your business's bottom line. I'm going to explain how you can open your business to a whole new group of potential customers, and how you can increase the value of your annual clip by nearly 10 times over commodity pricing. So a little about me. I was first introduced to fiber animals back in the late 1980s. I had a small 40-acre farm in central Washington, and we bought into Angora goats and the luxurious mohair that they produce. When we started, things were pretty good. We sold a little bit of fiber we were producing and sold a few offspring. But soon our herd began to grow. A buddy of mine jumped in on the business, and it didn't take long for our herd to build to almost 400 animals. What we quickly came to understand was how the lack of a fully developed commercial market for our fiber would impact our growing business. We began looking for alternatives, ways to get our fiber converted from a raw commodity into finished products, something that could sell and something that would appeal to a broader audience. We weren't even thinking about the possibilities of adding value at that point. Unfortunately, we were unable to find a solution at that time, and in the end, we couldn't make the Angora goats work as a profitable livestock model. But what I did come away with was the knowledge that there was value in what we were producing, and an understanding and a belief that if we could somehow get our fiber processed into finished products, we could sell those items. So fast forward to 2003, the entrepreneurial spirit still very much alive, and the need for value-added processing for many fiber producers is still very much in demand. We launched a custom yarn mill. As we hoped, the business was well received and quickly grew, and soon our customers were asking for products beyond yarn and roving. In 2004, we added an industrial dobby loom and began custom weaving throws. Again, the response to what we were providing exceeded our expectations and was reinforcing the original idea that opening up new opportunities for producers to expand to wider audiences and the opportunity to capture more of the value in the end product would be a successful strategy for many fiber producers. So in 2012, we made a decision to shift our business model. We sold our mill and decided to turn our focus entirely to making finished products, expanding further those opportunities that hadn't been previously available. In 2016, we launched Evolution Knitwear with the acquisition of our first whole garment knitting machine. Whole garment technology is significant in that, with its ability to reduce the labor traditionally associated with knit manufacturing, it opens up opportunities in small batch quantities that traditionally have been thought only to have been available to commercial scale production operations. Alright, so enough about me. Who are we really talking about here? We're talking about you, the fiber producers, wool, alpaca, llama, mohair producers. We're talking about connecting the farm to fashion and ultimately with consumers. In the end, we're talking about capturing more value to your bottom line. So what is farm to fashion and small batch manufacturing? Farm to fashion, much like the farm to table movement is to food, is all about connecting with the consumer, broadening your customer base, and gaining more value for your fiber. It's a strategy that employs value-added processing through small batch manufacturing to convert your raw fiber to a finished product. This is happening today as the farms are sending their fiber off to the many small mills scattered around the country, having their clip turned into bats, roving, and yarn. Today, however, technology is advancing and new product opportunities are emerging, giving us new abilities to reach an ever-expanding customer base and providing new opportunities to capture value for the fiber producer. So, the question here should probably not be why, but more accurately read, why not? One could argue that this, as a business owner, is the single most important question to ask yourself. If I told you you could double the price you get for your annual fiber clip, would that seem like an extreme claim? Would that grab your attention? What if I told you you could increase the value of your clip by 4 times? How about 5 times? 6 times maybe? What if I told you you could increase the value of your fiber by nearly 10 times over what you might be getting today? Well, let's dig into the numbers a little and see if those claims actually hold up. So for today's example, I will use raw alpaca blanket fiber and will use $10 per pound as the value. Before we go on, let me say there will be some numbers that I use that could be arguable. The intent of this presentation is to demonstrate a model for increasing the value of your fiber clip, not to debate what the value of your raw fiber or yield is, as the case may be. I encourage each of you to use your numbers, do your research. Every situation is not the same, and your business is unique to your circumstances. Okay, disclaimer out of the way. Let's talk about taking your raw fleece to yarn. Using the numbers in this table, $10 for raw fiber, the processing cost being based on the incoming weight in this case, applying a nominal expense for labeling and freight, and a 30% loss through the process, you can see there's a substantial gain to be realized, effectively doubling the value of your clip in this example. So in this case, resulting in 7 pounds of yarn from our 10 pounds of raw fleece and an additional $9.85 per pound in value gained. This example looks pretty good. Let's look at another. Okay, in this case we'll take our fleece beyond yarn to beanie hats as an example. Here we will assume the same value for the raw fleece and that you've captured the value of your fleece and the added value of converting your fleece to yarn from our previous example. We'll input the selling price of the yarn from the previous example as our cost of yarn in this example. In this case, we'll also assume that you're going to take the 7 pounds of yarn from the previous example and move that on into the beanie hats. We'll assume the hats weigh 2.5 ounces each, which should give us about 44 hats from our 7 pounds of yarn. We'll add expenses for labeling and packaging and some expense for freight, and let's assume a selling price of $38 for the finished alpaca hat. As you can see in this example, there's a significant opportunity for additive value. When we add the value of the raw fleece to the additive gains from the spinning and knitting, you end up with an equivalent fleece value of over $98 a pound. That's a 983% increase over your original fleece value. In both of these examples, you clearly capture added value. But perhaps most importantly, with diversity in products, you position yourself to appeal to a much wider audience, giving you better opportunity to sell your products. So to back up real quick, and to be clear, there is no magic solution here. It's not a one-size-fits-all, and it certainly won't come without an investment or effort on your part. But as a strategy that can add such a significant increase in revenue to your bottom line, isn't the question really, why not? As business owners, can we afford to not look at every opportunity to add revenue to our bottom line? Okay, how do I make this happen? First off, have a plan. I can't stress this enough. Start with a self-assessment. What are your resources? Think of it as your foundation and build a solid business plan from there. How are you going to execute your business plan to capture more value from your fiber? On the sourcing side, think about your potential market. Do you produce enough fiber? If you're selling to someone other than direct to consumer, can you provide product year-round? How much fiber do you harvest each year? Does it make sense to partner up with your neighbor or another producer? Who will you market to? Do you have a friend who owns a local yarn shop? A family member with a boutique? Maybe a connection to the ski area down the road? A farm store? How about Etsy or Amazon? The opportunities for marketing are varied and nearly limitless, but what works for you is most likely going to be unique to you and the unique opportunities that you are able to create. Think about what gives you the best opportunity to market your fiber. What would appeal to the widest audience and present the best opportunity for you to add revenue to your bottom line? Is it yarn, hats, scarves, socks, gloves, blankets, something else maybe? What type of fiber are you producing? How about your quality program? Have you skirted and sorted your fleece? Is what you're harvesting suitable for the products that you're looking at producing? You've probably heard this, but it bears repeating because it's so true. Quality really does start on the farm, with you and your farm management practices. It all plays a part in the quality of what you're producing and what you can expect in your finished product. Do you have a mill in your area? Are they capable of producing high quality, low defect yarn? Have you identified a production knitter or weaver, and what are their capabilities? As I mentioned, this won't come without some effort, but it's a strategy that will create new marketing opportunities for your fiber and add significant revenue to your bottom line. Okay, so what now? Let's talk a little about scheduling. In order to minimize the cycle time from harvest to end product sales, which is also the time that you will have your capital tied up in everything from feed to shearing to processing, it will take some planning, but it can be done. Ideally, shearing should happen early enough in the year to allow for processing and manufacturing of your clip into product so that you then have it in plenty of time to take full advantage of the holiday season. Delays can and probably will arise, and so a few things to consider. Shearing availability and getting on that schedule early. Show schedules, weather, birthing, it can all potentially delay your fleece harvest and should be considered and planned for where you can. Also, keep in mind the production schedules with your manufacturing partners. They can get tight as well. Lead times can become extended and impact your ability to hit that all-important holiday buying season. One option to consider is possibly putting down a deposit if needed and booking schedule positions in advance so you'll be sure that you'll be able to take full advantage of those holiday sales. Okay, let's do a quick recap. Farm to fashion and small batch manufacturing can be used as an effective strategy to connect with a broader customer base, creating new opportunities to market your fleece and significantly increase your revenue. There is no magic solution. It's not a one-size-fits-all and doesn't come without some effort, but it is a strategy that will open new opportunities and increase your bottom line. Quality starts on the farm and with you, your breeding program, and your management practices. It all plays a part in what you can expect in your finished product. Build a plan. Effective planning will reduce cycle times, preserve capital, and ensure you get your product on time to take full advantage of the holiday buying season. And one last thing, enjoy what you're doing. Being able to raise our family and living on the farm in the lifestyle it provided was truly a blessing to us. Caring for your livestock, experiencing the miracle of birth, and harvesting the fleece you collect each year is an amazing reward for the hard work that undoubtedly comes with it. Taking your harvest through to an end product, making that connection with the end consumer, sharing what you do and why you do it, well, I hope you find that as rewarding as the surprise of a healthy new baby standing next to its mother at morning feeding. With that, I thank you for listening to this presentation, and I wish you many successes. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. I'll do my best to help in any way I can. And again, thank you.